Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Algebra 2, welcome to room 15, where we're reading our unit. We had two of our good people were not here last week, so I hope that they can be caught up pretty well. I don't think. How do you like last week? Feel like you learned something last week? Okay, good. How many feel like, Lillian, you feel like you already forgot a lot from last week? Anybody? Really good. Well, okay, well, what we're going to do is, the way this is working out today is we're going to kind of segue into doing some problems that are sort of real-world applications of systems and equations in three variables. But 9 is sort of a remnant of last week, where we have a problem that's very similar to how we concluded on Friday doing these things. So I invite you to go ahead and set up a matrix for this one, and we'll go ahead and solve it. And I can call on somebody to solve it. But for those of you who were not here last week especially, you can set up these systems of equations. And we focused, before we got to our calculator, we focused a lot on using elimination. And in this case, to eliminate, we would add these second two equations together, and we'd eliminate our z's, and then we could manipulate and eliminate this z and work our way down to like a two-variable system to solve. But in working out an augmented matrix, it's going to be something like this, where you just take the numbers of the variables, so 3x, 4y, and -1z, and then we have the second, actually you have -7 over here for a fully augmented matrix. So it's going to look like this, your augmented matrix. And then you have 1, -5, 2, and 19. And then finally you have 5, 1, -2, and 5, like this. And so that would be your augmented matrix. So I heard Garrett was talking to you about this, right? So
Yeah.
did he show you how to do that?
Yeah, I think I got it.
Okay, beautiful, good work. What about you, Mason? You know how to do this with the matrices? You know how to do it with the calculator? Okay, here, I'll show you. Why don't you get out your... Can you see how to transcribe like this? Okay, I want you to get out your calculator like this, and we'll go through it kind of. You did? Okay, that's awesome work. So, Abigail did some work, yes. Yeah, I think so. That's right. That's good. That's what I got. Okay, good. But what it is, Abigail, it's a lot of it's a process of getting the muscle memory and just learning how to do it. So you just go ahead and work on it over time. And okay. So we go to our calculator and go to I'm going to clear that out. Go to second matrix, and then come over here to edit. Then you press edit, and what we have is a 3-column by 4-row. We have what's called a 3-by-4 augmented matrix. So 3, 4, -1, and 7. So 3, 4, -1, 7. So that's our first row entered, and our second row is 1, -5, 2, 19. 1, -5, 2, 19, and our final row is going to be 5, 1, -2, 5. So 5, 1, -2, 5, and then double check to make sure you got it right. Then go ahead and clear your screen. I press second quit. Go back to your matrix, second matrix. Go over to math. You can scroll down to B, option B, which is reduced row echelon form. That's what REF stands for. Press enter. Then we go to matrix, ladies, one last time. Names A, and then we go ahead and parenthesize this and press enter like this. Now I didn't get, this does not look like correct answer. Now what it was, the reason it wasn't is because I must have entered something incorrectly.
The parentheses, I didn't do the parentheses.
So I want to go ahead and redo that because obviously I've made some kind of mistake here in the transcription. So let's go to, I'm going to go back to second matrix, edit. And the same thing happened to Kaylee last week, right Kaylee?
It's negative
It's negative what?
7 instead of 7.
It's -7 instead of 7. Okay, so I mistranscribed here. So that was not my intention to do that. But I'm going to go back, I'm going to make this -7 instead. And Abigail assures me that you're probably right now. Is that right? So second quit. So now we're back here again, second matrix. Go to math. I'm going to go to alpha B to get reduced row echelon form, and then this. So now we have this augmented matrix here, 2, -3, 1. So on the right we have 2, -3, 1. So we have 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, and finally 0, 0, 1. And what this means is that we have 1x plus 0y plus 0z equals 2, 0x plus y plus 0 equals negative, so y equals -3, and finally z equals 1. And what this is, your calculator does in less than the blink of an eye what it takes. This is number 6, worked out by hand, doing by hand what the calculator does in a fraction of a second. So that's how it does it, by row operations. It reduces, and then you have your solution here. So we have x is equal to 2, y is equal to -3, and finally z is equal to 1. Or you can write them as a coordinate triple, 2, -3, 1. So really that's what there is to it. And so that's it. Do you have questions on that? Anyone?
I don't think so.
Okay, good. What we're going to do is go on to applications of this in real world situations. We're going to take probably today and tomorrow, going over some of these before we go on to. So now, for number 10, it's find the equation of the parabola passing through the points 3, 7, 30, -11, and 0, -1. Well, how would we work out something like that? No clue for that? I'll give you a clue, and a clue would be that the standard form of a quadratic function is f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, so that's a clue. And so what you're going to do is you're going to find a system. Going to create a system using this. So what are we going to do with this thing right here, do you think? Yeah, we're going to plug in the numbers here. for, so we're going to do here is we're going to do these one at a time, and I'm just going to do these on the right side. We're going to work here first with 3, 7 over here, and to get an equation out of that, what we're going to do is take, we're having f of x, so whatever we plug in for x is going to equal 7. So we're going to have 7 is equal to, we have a, we don't know what a is. We're trying to find out what a, b, and c are. And so what is x going to be for this first point? 3, right? So we put in 3 in the place of x squared plus b, and again we put in the place of x 3, and then we have finally plus c. So this is going to, what this is going to be is, I'm going to write this as 9, 3 squared is 9, right? So 9a plus 3b plus c is equal to 7. All right? Okay, I want you to go ahead and do the same thing with this second point, this one right here, for 30, comma, negative 11, and do the same thing with this one. And I'm going to call on somebody to help me get this second equation here, using the same type of process for that. If you can do that, help your neighbor. I'm going to call on somebody here in a minute. Okay, Brianna, what is this going to look like here? What are you going to put in the place of f of x here? We're talking about this point right here. Okay. So if we plug in 30, what are we going to get as an output? Okay, let's look at this one up here, right? We plugged in 3, and we plugged in 7, or we plugged in 3 and we got 7, right? Or we plugged in 3 and we got 7. So what are we getting as an out? Plugged in 3 as an input, got 7 as an output. If we plug in 30, what do we get as an output? The numbers are right here. If we plug in 30 as an input, what do we get as an output? Okay, let's look at this one here, right? We plugged in 3 and we got 7 as an output, x, y. This one here, if we plug in 30, what are we going to get as an output? We plugged in an x value, we got a y value in return. We plugged in 3, we got 7. Here, if we plug in 30, we're going to get as our output negative 11. Okay, so what we're going to do is set our equation equal to negative 11. So negative 11 equals, and what we're going to do is take this x here and replace this x with our x value here. So what's this going to look like here? So A, and what do we do with this 30? What do we do with this 30 here? Square it, right? And plus B, and what do we put in the place of this x here? Put in 30, okay? And finally, we don't have any x attached here, so we just have to put plus C. And then rewriting this equation here, we're going to have, what's 30 squared going to be? 30 squared, 900. So what we have is 900 A, and we have plus 30B plus C is equal to our output value of negative 11. So that's how we got this second equation, all right? And then our last equation here, we're going to plug in, okay, thank you, Brianna, working with me. That's really good. Okay, I want you to go ahead and get that third equation. I'll call on somebody else to help us get that third equation down. Okay, for this one here we have Jordan. So Jordan, how are we going to write this equation here? What's our output value? Negative 1. So we're going to, as we did on the other ones, we're going to start this out with negative 1 equals. So now if we plug in, what do we plug in for x? 0, right? So we have A times 0, which is going to be 0. Or then we have 0 times B, which is 0. And then what do we have for C? Well, we have negative 1. We have plus C, thank you, plus C equals negative 1. So we have is, to rewrite this, I'm going to write this as 0A plus 0B plus C is equal to negative 1. All right? So now do we have 3 equations and 3 unknowns? Now, because of this, there's different strategies we can employ here to do it at this point. One way is we can go ahead and just we can go back to this system here and just replace this C with negative 1, that C with negative 1. And then we would have, or this C, excuse me, with negative 1, this C with negative 1, and then we'd be able to solve the system of equations. But what I want to do with this one is I want to set this up as a matrix like we did with problem 9. So how do we set this up as a matrix to solve the system here? And I want to call on somebody to, we want to get a matrix like this. So I want to call on somebody to tell me how to set up this system of equations with this equation, and this equation with a matrix. And we can go ahead and solve it that way. So we have Abigail. What is our augmented matrix going to look like for this, Abigail?
Is going to be, is it going to be 9,
9,
3,
3.
1, 7.
Okay, let's just freeze it right here before you go on.
Okay.
Does everybody can see that, why that is, and how that came about? Okay, now, what did you notice I did up here when I rewrote these equations? Did you notice what I did?
You put the equal.
Yeah, what I did is I took these things right here. We started out with 7 equals like this, but then in rewriting I put equals 7 on the right. Why did I do that?
Because it matters.
Why does it matter? It matters because I want to get in the right augmented matrix form, because I knew we were going to want to write that this way. Okay, what's our next row there, Abigail?
900,
900,
30,
30,
1,
1,
negative
11.
Yeah, negative 11.
And then what's our last row going to be here?
0, 0, 1, negative 1.
Negative 1. So we have that, and so that's it. So now we can solve this, I hope, pretty easily. So if we go to this, to solve this, I'm going to clear this out, go to second matrix, and then, oops, that's not what I wanted. I'm going to go to second matrix and then go over to edit. And we have a 3x4 matrix. So we have, I think it's 9, is it? And then 3,
And then
1, and then what's this going to be?
7.
7. And then this here we get, is it 900? And then is it 30?
Yep.
And what's the next one's going to be?
1.
1,
And negative
11. And then,
0, 0, 1, and negative 1.
okay? So now,
I think the third 0 is supposed to be a 1.
is it? Okay, let me fix that again. Let's go ahead and fix that. I'm glad you caught that. Oh, it's supposed to be a 1. Yeah, good catch. 1. There we go. Now we're going to be good, right? Yeah, it's always good. That's a good example of like double checking to make sure that's right. So now we're going to go to second matrix, go to math, go to alpha.
You press second.
Oh, okay, I need to go to alpha there, right? Alpha B. Oops. Oh well. We go over here again. Alpha B. There we go. Second matrix. Enter.
That's what I got.
Okay, good. Now this right here is going to be negative 1/9. So A is negative 1 over 9, because if we take negative 1 divided by 9, we're going to get this. So So A is negative 1/9, then 3 and negative 1. And so what we have here is we have the equation f of x equals negative 1/9 x squared plus 3x minus 1. So this is going to be our equation, our function that handles everything. And you can go, last thing you can do is go test this in your calculator. Go to negative 1/9 x squared plus 3x minus 1. And then when you graph the thing, you're not going to be able to see very much here, but you can go to your table view and make sure everything is as it should be. So we had 3 as an input, we got 7. We had what other inputs do we have here? We had 30 as an input, we got negative 11. So you can go to 30. Yeah, 30 is we get negative 11. So it checks out basically, all right? Okay?
Oh.
So that's our answer for number 10. Okay? What I want you to do is go to problem 11.
Wait, Mr. G, don't erase me. I gotta make sure I get it right.
Problem 11. I need you to work out problem 11.
I got it. Mr. G, I'm catching on so fast to this.
It's good. Well, you're ready to learn, so I don't know. You said you're not 100% yet. Whatever percent you are, it's a percent that's ready to learn. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you're going to find out too is we're going to be covering so many different topics this second semester that you're going to find that some of you might find you're going to struggle with some things, but then some things are going to come easier to other people. So that's just it. So I want you to go ahead and set up your equations for problem 11, and we're going to talk about the equations here for this, and we may end up being able to solve this today. So you should be able to, what you have to do is take the text message there, the text, and get 3 equations out of there. That's what you're trying to do. And once you do that, there are things, what things will help you get, what fact is going to help you get an equation out of this deal? What do you know about a triangle?
3 sides.
3 points.
3 sides,
3 angles.
3 sides and 3 angles,
And 3 points. Yeah.
and 3 points. And what else do you know about a triangle?
The strongest shape in the world.
What's an important thing that we'll know, you should know to help you find the,
180?
yeah, look up, okay, that's what Kaylee said it, right. Your 3 angles, interior angles, are going to have to add up to 180. So that's going to be helpful to you in this problem. So once you go ahead and work out that system, you should get a system
No.
for that. Okay?
I just spoke too soon. I'll remember my name. I'll try.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have an equation for this yet?
No. Wait, no.
You have an equation for an angle yet? equation for this system yet? No?
We're all.
Is everybody just kind of lost on this?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that.
Well, the first one is the one that Kayla gave us, because we know we're going to have three angles. So we're going to know that x plus y plus z are going to have to, if we add these three angles together, what are we going to get? 180, right? So how hard was that? That's not hard, is it?
It is not.
It's not hard.
It is.
Okay, next it says the measure of angles x is 8 times the sum of measures of angle y and z. So how do you translate this sentence here into algebraic symbols? What is the word is going to be? In algebra, what is going to be?
Is 8.
No, is an equal sign. Is an equal sign,
Okay.
right? So the angle, so what you do is you translate here in there. So you have x is, and then in the second sentence here, this measure of angle y is, that's an equal sign. Here's an equal sign. So here we have x equals, now how do you write 8 times the sum of measures angle y and z? How do you do that? Yeah, so what you're going to do is you're going to have 8 times the sum of angle y and z. So there's your second equation. And then what's your third equation going to be? Measure of angle y is 3 times z. So are those 3 equations we have here? Yeah, they are. Now, what I want to do is I want to set these up for that we can use solving of a matrix like we did the others, right? So the first one here is a good equation. How do we set the second one up? Well, we have x is equal to 8y plus 8z. And if we subtract 8y, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this one down here to give room here. So y equals 3z. Okay, here, if we subtract 8y, subtract 8z, what we have is x minus 8y minus 8z equals 0. So we have that. And what do we do with this one? This last one. To get a number on the right side. Okay, how about subtract 3z? So we do that, we have y minus 3z is equal to 0. So now we have a system we can put in here like this: 1, 1, 1, 180. Okay, we don't need to be putting things away quite yet, ladies and gentlemen. I hear rustling of papers. Then here we put 1, negative 8, negative 8, 0, and the last row we have is 0, 0, 0, 1, negative 3, 0. So we're going to come back to this tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. See you tomorrow.